Hey, thanks for tuning into my video blog. It has been almost 2 months since I have posted a video blog, and I could come up with a lot of excuses, but really it's just a matter of not being faithful to something that I know that I'm supposed to be doing. And it's crazy when I consider that because the very first video blog that I started talked about having an investment within ourselves, that God gives us all gifts and talents that we are supposed to use to make the world a better place. And one of the scriptures that I used talked about these people who were given gifts and they were supposed to cultivate them and make them better and produce more. And some of the people buried the talents that were given to them, and essentially they were called wicked people because they were not using those talents, but instead they were burying them for themselves. And so I simply just have not been faithful. And so, with me starting back up this video blog, I'm hoping to be more consistent with it and to not fall off, but to stay with this task for whatever time God has for me. So I wanted to share that first before getting into my video blog. So with this video blog, I want to talk about this idea of stubborn faith. And when you think about faith and what faith is supposed to do, faith is really the essence of having that hope and trust in God and believing that whatever it is that you're going through, that God has a plan for you, and maybe it's something that God spoke over your life. You have faith that God is going to complete that thing, or He is going to bring whatever it is to pass, even if you don't see it at the moment, or it looks like it's not going to happen. Faith is what really helps us and motivates us to continue on, even when we don't see our circumstances changing. So when you think about this idea of being stubborn, I think a lot of people have a very negative connotation with being stubborn. But I believe in this example, it's really important sometimes to have stubborn faith, to not be willing to move or to change something that God has spoken to you, or He has given you instructions about something. You're really going to stay true to that because you know that God has a plan, and you're not going to deviate from that plan because you know that God is in control and you're really trusting Him. And so when I was thinking about stubborn, I've always thought of like a donkey. A lot of people say those are one of the most stubborn animals. And I did some research, and actually, the mule is actually more stubborn than the donkey. And if you look it up on Google, like you'll see a lot of pictures of people who have those type of animals. Like they literally have to tie ropes around them and pull them because they're not willing to move because they are just that stubborn. So it's really hard to get those animals to budge or to move at all. And so when you think about this idea of having stubborn faith, I want to share just a quick little passage with you in the book of Joshua. And Joshua was someone who he was coming into leadership after Moses, and Moses had given him some instructions, and um, he told him to pretty much stick to those instructions. He told him, don't move too far to the left or to the right, but I'm giving you these instructions, and these are something that I want you to keep with you, that I want you to meditate on. And so it says, be strong and courageous, for you are the one who will lead these people to possess all the land I swore to their ancestors I would give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the instructions Moses gave you. Do not deviate from them, turning either to the right or to the left. Then you will be successful in everything you do. Study this book of instruction continually. Meditate on it day and night, so you will be sure to obey everything written in it. Only then will you prosper and succeed in all you do. So just from listening to that, you can see that Joshua had some instructions that were given to him by his leader, Moses, who was going on. And now Joshua is taking over. So he was being reminded that there were some instructions that were given to you. And these instructions are important. They're going to help you. And if you follow those instructions, they're going to help you be successful in everything that you do. And so this idea of stubborn faith is really helping me at the moment as I'm feel like I'm sort of in a transition phase in life, and simply waiting on God and trusting Him, knowing that He already has the doors open. But in that process of waiting for Him, waiting to see those promises and those doors be open. And sometimes that's very difficult when you're waiting and you're trusting God and you don't see it happening on your own time. But it's really important to know that God has a plan for everything. Just like Joshua was being reminded that he had these instructions and he wasn't supposed to deviate from them. He wasn't supposed to go too far to the left or to the right, but he was supposed to stay focused on the instructions that were given to him. There are some things in my life right now that I prayed about it, I sought God on it, and he gave me very specific instructions on what I was supposed to do. I have followed those instructions, and I'm in the process of waiting to see those promises that God has spoke to me, and it's been difficult, it's been challenging at times, but I just keep having this aspect, I have the faith that God is going to do exactly what he said he would do, and I have to stand on those instructions that God gave me, even when some people may question those instructions, they may question what you're doing, they may not understand it. I really have to stand true to that and know that God had a plan when he spoke to me and he gave me those instructions, and I simply have to follow it. And just like the scripture said, I'll be successful in everything that I do when I'm really listening and following what God has for me. So maybe there's something that you are struggling with, or you're not seeing that promise come, or maybe God spoke some specific instructions to you about something you're supposed to be doing in your life. And I just wanted to encourage you all to hold on, don't give up, have that stubborn faith like that mule that's not willing to move. Just stand firm and know that God has a promise and he's going to bring that promise to pass, whatever it is that you've been waiting for. Don't give up on God. Continue to hold on to that hope. And I promise you, in God's perfect timing, he will come through right when we need it, and he will never put more on us than we're able to bear. So I wanted to share that. I'm excited to get back into my video blogs, and I hope that you all are too, and that you all have a blessed week.